if we want to see our business from a perspective, we have to be far away, because if you are inside, if you're in a box, you think like, have this boundary of the box, and we see only what.
Yo, what is up? This is Christian D. Evans, host of Journey with Christian D. Evans podcast. And I just want to share with you real quick, thank you. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. It really means a lot to us, but also our community. And, if you like this, please share this with your friend, your family, a colleague, someone that you don't even like. Definitely share that with them. And then also leave a comment and a review for us. We really do appreciate that. And show our guests some love if you find that this episode really resonates with you. Secondly, also want to share with you some really awesome news. I've had the Fortune Opportunity Network and have incredible guests, 8 and 9 figure entrepreneurs, CEOs, and founders on our podcast. And what we've done is we've actually been able to open up a Be Uncommon If You Can Mastermind, where we're able to open up the door for so many of you, right? Those that are 6-figure, 7-figure entrepreneurs that are scaling, that are struggling, that really want to level up their game, their business, their life, whatever it is. I'm able to open up that door for you with this Be Uncommon If You Can Mastermind. Now, we're only taking a select few of individuals. So what you'll need to do is go to christiandievans.com/mastermind-now. And the link is actually in the description as well. Guys, that is christiandievans.com/mastermind-now. We're only opening this up for a select few of individuals that really want to level up their game. You have a conversation with me, see if you qualify. And guys, enjoy the episode. And remember, be uncommon if you can. Cheers.
Interesting. I didn't choose my heart, and I chose the easiest way, which was to go and work in my family business. So at that time, my family was distributing luxury cars in northern Italy. We were one of the top 10, this is lifestyle, one of the top 10 Italian distributors for Ferrari, for Mercedes-Benz, for Maserati. So you can imagine how cool everything was, or parties and many other amazing things. But the thing is that when I started working in corporate, and I had no clue, because as I told you, my background is literary, and then I was in charge of human resources development and organizational development and change management, which was, kind of a, same bucket, I would say. And I started, I had a seat in the board of directors. So there, I had no Dolce Vita at all from the inside, whereas from the outside, I was having these amazing parties at the golf club, yachting club, and you can imagine, like private jet and all the fun things. This wasn't right for me. I don't know how to tell you, it wasn't right for me, because I really wanted to succeed, and I wanted to succeed in a male-dominated world. So the automotive industry is really, really biased. And I was the only woman, and I started living like men. I was aping my, like the other managers, the other executives, working the long hours, commuting, and, I was forgetting my passions, everything, that really lets me up from the inside. So I was doing nothing from that, because I was in such a comfort zone, because everything was so amazing. So what happened is that the world crisis, 2008 or 2009, depending where you are in the world crisis, hit, and my company business collapsed like this, in 3 seconds. So I started from scratch from that moment. And that moment where when I was sitting, by myself saying, you know what? I'm not going to play the victim. I'm not a victim at all. This is my chance to start over. So I started creating my own consulting business in organizational development and human resources development. And it was like in person, going all over Italy, commuting again. And, after a few years, I was like, hey, wait a minute. I'm doing something that I didn't want to do. Permitted. I want my client to go away from their environment and to be in a location that they like. And it can be very relevant to what they have the most need to work on. And then we start working from then, enjoying La Dolce Vita moment when, like while we work. So this is creating massive shifts because the person is really walking the talk. They're embodying, what they do. So, and then from there, I give them a blueprint and they can decide to implement it by themselves, or we can, implement it together. And everything inside this container is super flexible. So really depending on how the person is responding and how much, they need to have me by their side. And this is why I only take 2 or 3 maximum clients at the same time, because I really want to be all in and be there for them. And it can include, like, really, as you said, doing something completely weird, completely out of the blue, very far from their mentality, or having them recollect something that they like to do, but that, they forgot. Sometimes you had passions and you don't, then how long haven't I been to the movie or read a book or had this trip, or I've always wanted to visit whatever, do it now.
Well, and you're exactly right. And I love that, because so many times, and I caught myself in this, and this is the reason why I'm saying this, is because, I was focused at the beginning of my life, just focused on building my business, because I wanted to spend more time with my family, right? And the reality was I was sacrificing the most important thing during that time for the least important thing. And then I started realizing that I wasn't really enjoying life. It was because I have to hustle, I have to do it, I have to get, and for what cause, right? And the reality is, just like you were saying, Angela, I just love that approach. It's, hey, you can do all of it throughout your life and have that Italian lifestyle while going out there building a successful business. Now, also, something that I love what you're talking about is having this creativity, like you were saying, when you go run, or when you go and plant or be around your garden, it creates, massive creativity, which then allows you to find solutions in yourself that then you can come back to your business. And what I found with, dealing with business owners and, high level achievers, is that most of them, it's not a matter of being actively, it's more of like strategically thinking. And that's where a majority of business owners should be focusing a lot of time on. But by doing these other attributes or other things that enhance creativity, right? Something so bizarre
that I like to try with myself first, and then suggest. Of course, everybody has different tastes, but if you like outdoor activities, for instance, it's interesting to know that soft skills can be fostered and enhanced not only by working or by taking, like some good consultant in your business, at your workplace, but they can be enhanced way better outside. For instance, you go paragliding. So when you go paragliding, what you understand, there is a whole process. There is, you go and you have to jump, and you have to jump when there is nothing. You have your feet that are touching the ground for a moment, and then they're not touching the ground anymore. So you can use this metaphor for your business. So how does it feel? What are the things that you do? Probably in the beginning, you do paragliding with your instructor at your back. So you want to do the same, asking for some help. And then you are flying. So what do you see? What's different? What you discover, for instance, you have been very familiar with an environment, and then all of a sudden, when you fly, you see it from a different perspective. The same stand-up paddle surf. You have to, to learn how to balance yourself, and then maybe you fall down, and then and then you have to stay up. Going skiing, same thing. There is no one's no. So before, there is no one kind of skiing, so you have to decide what kind of ski, then you have to get the right equipment. Depending on the snow, you have to prepare your ski, and all those things, that you do on autopilot. When you do them, as a hobby, when you do them as a hobby, but with a purpose of understanding more about your business, this can click you so many things.
I love that. I love that. Just some creative ideas. I think that's just awesome. Because my dad and I actually later this March, we're going to go sailing, and we're going to go down to the Gulf of Mexico near Florida. And the reason why is because it helps me learn about how to do sailing and just something creative, something different. But it's also with my dad and so forth. So I love these ideas because again, the return on investment is, to me, I think is so remarkable, because then all of a sudden you have that creative idea and you start bringing it back to your business or bringing it back to your infrastructure, and all of a sudden you start, and it's not, like you said, it's not just a matter of revenue increase, right? Which it definitely can be, but it's also, lifestyle increase, like you were saying. Sharing that because I think that is a very big thing about the West culture, right? And I know Italians are really good at that. I went to Italy, numerous times throughout my life, and obviously I'll probably go more often as well. But I do know that they are, enjoy the present moment. And so let me ask you, was that hard for you, going from this, corporate America, going full throttle, 100%, to then slowing down, and not really slowing down, but just enjoying and kind of pivoting to, okay, hey, I'm going to enjoy the moment. And yeah, I have goals. Yeah, I have dreams. Yeah, I have ambitions and so forth that you want to accomplish, and for your clients and so forth. But being able to really say, okay, you know what, I'm going to make this pivot internally. And what did that look like?
Yeah. At the beginning, it was very difficult because I am a type perfectionist, so if you can imagine. So it was very difficult because I was in that guilty mode all the time. So, I'm not doing enough. I'm not perfectionist. This is not perfect enough. This is, I'm not going too much. And then, you know what? Some clients really opened my eyes, because I was on that, I have to have it all perfect. I have to prepare. And once I didn't have the time to prepare. So I just went in, not improvising, of course, because I have, like more than 20 years experience. But what for me sucked, it was terrible. For the client, it was, wow, so many aha moments. And I was like, hey, wait a minute. So what was I chasing? Why don't I start becoming more gentle with myself, allowing myself much more self-care time or enjoyment time? So then I started inserting, like, say, every month I take 3 or 4 days off so that I can go, and do something. Okay, COVID permitting, pandemic permitting, I will start again. But even with the pandemic, so it's been more challenging, but you can create your Dolce Vita everywhere. I am so lucky as to have a very beautiful garden in my house. I have the hills very close to my house, 5 minutes walking. So I just, grab my gym shoes, my sneakers, and I stay 1 hour or whatever. And I discover that the more I enjoy Dolce Vita time, the more my brain is making synapses, is, like letting things percolate. I get ideas, and I get, that very useful detachment that makes me have the right perspective for taking the right decision, for understanding new things, for being creative and all that. So this is something that I have, experienced in person, and that I'm bringing to my clients all the time. Changed it again. And I pivoted all my business online with the help of a couple of American business coaches, when all the Italians were telling me it's impossible. You need to have, get in touch with people. So this is the first lesson that I learned. Never listen to other people's limiting beliefs. And I was saying no, because I have, I have proofs overseas. So I continued, I went on. And when the pandemic hit, I was already online. Everybody in Italy were discovering Zoom, and I was on Zoom since 4 years. And I just had, to hit the accelerator, if we want to keep the car metaphor. And during the pandemic, I really was called to open my influence and work with some Europeans. And then even more, I said, wow, probably the Americans would love to live La Dolce Vita, because many of them are coming to Italy. So why not helping them to bring La Dolce Vita into their houses, into their lives, and business lives in the United States. So here I am.
That is an incredible story. I mean, going from, like you said, that luxury lifestyle, and then obviously hitting that in corporate America. So let me ask you, when you were pivoting, when everything stopped, it was just like a total stop in your life. Did it take you a while to pivot, and or was it like instantaneous? Like, okay, this is my opportunity, this is my chance. Well, what did that look like?
It really took more than a while. I went on through trial and errors. You know why? Because, well, first of all, since I was so identifying myself with my business in corporate, with my role in corporate, it was so difficult for me to transition, from that place of the successful executive woman to something different. So this is the first thing. And it really helped me like assessing what are my skill sets, what are my superpowers, what do I like to do? And then I proceeded, by trial and errors, over and over again. And let me tell you, I had a successful business in Italy, but no way I can't even compare how much I love gathering together with Anglo-Saxons and North Americans. I'm having way more fun. Doors are opening in an incredible way, and I'm really coming back to myself, to when I was living in the US, in California, as a student, and everything was so wonderful. So I can say I just feel accomplished just by thinking about it. You see, my eyes are sparkling. If we want to see our business from a perspective, we have to be far away, because if you are inside, if you're in a box, you think like, have this boundary of the box, and we see only what we see. So this is one of the things that I really encourage, and my clients really fight, is stay out of your company. So this is one of the major challenges. But then what I see is that they understand that, of course, a business process is never, like a highway. It's like a roller coaster, and you have to change. I like to call, like a rally race, because it's dangerous, it's adventurous, and you have to be ready. There are some moments when you can push on the accelerator, so you have less Dolce Vita, but it's like sprints. But on the day by day, you have to find this, like energy and, like perspective, as we say. So what I notice is that at the end, they are more relaxed, they are happier, they discover things, like, wow, they even discover things in their own house that they've never put their attention on. So, and they discover that if they are able to delegate in the right way, so, of course, there is a process behind delegation, and there is a process behind employee empowerment and many other things. Things go on, as well as, if they are inside the office micromanaging everybody, maybe they work better, and they understand that, all the decisions should make at the level where they should be made. So you don't want to be a bottleneck. They stop being a bottleneck. In fact, it's a struggle to let go of bottlenecking, because you feel that you're losing contact with your business. It's your creature. But when you are able to disidentify, yourself with that, a whole lot of things happen, and they're actually, more creative, happier, better relationship with family, better relationship inside the workplace. Because one of the things that I help them, that I inspire them to do, is by becoming a Dolce Vita leader, you start leading from your heart and creating really true connections with the people that are inside you. You discover that you have human beings that are working with you, and they have a whole story, behind them that you don't even know. So it's interesting. It's a very interesting